I was born in Torreon, Mexico, but my family, what happened was that my dad passed away. And so my mom, was the head of the household, and I had to like drop out of school when that happened, and she needed someone to stay with my little sister. And so I stayed home and watched her when I was 12 years old. This is, I think it was like our first Christmas, and that's my little sister. And she got like 10 Barbies for Christmas. My older sister had moved to the US. She was in Virginia. My mom and her like talked about it, and they decided that we would move to kind of be reunited with my sister. I don't think she realized like how difficult it would be with coming with the right documents, or she just wanted us to have a good education, and that's what she decided.
Claudette Monroy's family arrived in the U.S. in 2002 with a 10-year tourist visa. Her mother returned to Mexico 6 months later, but Monroy stayed with her older sister to receive an education. She finished high school and graduated with honors from Eastern Mennonite University in 2010. And by then, the U.S. felt like home. But soon after, Monroy's visa expired.
I think that when my visa expired, I think I just remember being scared a lot, and just being really, really attached to this country and my friends here, and just kind of that I made that decision to stay undocumented, because at that point I didn't have the strength to even have the thought of leaving my community.
Effective immediately, the Department of Homeland Security is taking steps to lift the shadow of deportation from these young people.
But in 2012, just as Monroy thought she may have to leave the U.S., Obama created the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals, or DACA program, which allows minors brought into the country illegally by their parents to stay in the U.S. for renewable 2-year periods and receive work permits.
It's just so interesting that, sometimes people don't realize that policies or politics really impact people, and for me, that truly changed my life. At first I would introduce myself as an international student, and then I was like, that doesn't feel right. I'm not, I've lived half of my life here and half of my life in Mexico. And so then I started introducing myself as an immigrant student. And then I was like, that still doesn't feel right. And so I think last semester I just started saying oh, I'm an undocumented student.
Now Monroy is enrolled in a master's program at George Washington University, and she works full-time at a D.C. nonprofit that provides education and other services to immigrants.
How many? Three. I think maybe 2 years ago I was like, wait a second, I'm fluent in both languages. Do you know what that means? I can relate to low income, middle class, or upper class, regardless of the race. That's the beauty of it. I'm a bridge in between these two very separate and very different communities. Okay, so you have to be in pairs, and then you practice speaking English, okay?
But since Trump was elected, Monroy worries about her future and the future of the students she works with.
This is my home, this is my community, and it's really scary that a person can have so much power and change, 100,000 lives of where positively change, and then that everything will be taken away by someone just signing a piece of paper.
I've been reflecting so much on the events of the last few weeks in our city and our nation. So many different executive orders and other things, and it's is some of this going to be implemented or not? It's just confusing.
And sometimes I still think is it time to go home? Especially as things get really hostile for us, but also for me, it's I'm not just here for myself. I really feel attached to the immigrant community and all of my students. I look up to parents that make the decision to bring their kids through really dangerous journey, and it's because they're desperate. And I think sometimes people don't understand that. If someone was threatening to kill your children, take your home, recruit your teenage boy to join a gang, you would do the same. And I think when I get really upset or emotional, it's because I think of them. Just because it breaks my heart when we read the news or everything, it's always statistics or labels, but I see these people every day. Yeah. And so I just, they don't have anything like to go back to, and so I think that that's part of like why I like fight, you know, like and share my story. And even like if it can be scary, like I know I'll be okay, but I just, yeah, I get scared for them.